story of the three little pigs by a wolf.
By a wolf.
By a wolf. He said this is his story. He
I
said
seen
you've
a
only
real-
heard the little
I-
pigs version.
I seen my best friend's Wiley's pig.
Oh, really?
It was big.
Was
She
it?
only had one.
Oh, okay. Okay, ready? Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story.
We were right there.
I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. Come on, Paige. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story.
Why?
Why do you say that every time? Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneeze and cold. I ran out of sugar. So what was wrong with the wolf?
He had a sneeze.
Okay. And why did the wolf need a cup of sugar?
Because he had a cold.
Because he had a cold or because he was making his granny a cake?
Because he was making his brother a cake.
Okay. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig. And he wasn't too bright either. He had built this whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw?
Not me. That means hay. That means hay.
So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called. Little pig, are you in? No
Miss
answer.
Michelle.
I was just about
Where's
to
he
go
going?
home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday
Sit
cake.
him at a table.
That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. So I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. What do you think happened after he sneezed?
The house fell
Sit him at a table.
House fell apart.
If you put it in breaks, if you put it in breaks, it won't fall apart.
Hey, you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straws was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there.
So he ate it.
Yeah. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not too much. He built his house out of sticks. Do you think it was smart for the second pig to build his house out of sticks? Do you think that was smart?
No.
Why?
Because the wolf would blow it down.
Well, what was the first pig's house made of?
Straw.
Straw. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called Mr. Pig. Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, "Go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt a sneeze come and gone. Can you do this part with me? I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed. I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze.
Achoo!
And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's on it. How did the pig's house fall?
Because the sticks stopped like a bowl.
But what did the wolf do to make the house fall?
Sneeze.
He sneezed.
Why? He really huffed. So he huffed.
Now you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had his whole house built of bricks. Why was the wolf going to the pig's house?
Because he needed a cup of sugar for his dear old granny's birthday.
Good job. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called Mr. Pig. Mr. Pig, are you in? And you know what that rude porker says? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. And he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed a great sneeze once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny could sit on a pin. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fella, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break that pig's door down. And the whole time, I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. What do you think happened next after the cops showed up?
He sneezed.
He sneezed, and what else happened?
He puffed it down. Well, I have a book that's called The Other Little Puffs. Puffed and blowed it out down.
The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it, the real story. I was framed. What does framed mean?
He was bad and he got to jail.
You went to jail? But maybe you can loan me a cup of sugar. So tell me this, if someone knocked on your door that you did not know, would you let him in?
No.
Why?
Because he's a stranger.
Because he's a stranger. Good job. I want to thank y'all for listening to my story and letting me come read y'all a book, okay? Y'all have fun trick-or-treating. All right.